Come around, listen in and join the fun. Learning as we go, new words and stories. Adventures begun. Let's open up the pages. Don't have far to look. It's all in a book. Ruthy's Reading Room. Ruthy's Reading Room. Ruthy's Reading Room. Ruthy's Reading Room.
Hello, little readers. Welcome to Ruthy's Reading Room. I'm Ruthy, and this is my buddy John. He's my favorite stuffy, and he's joining us for story time today. Hooray! Are we all excited to read another book? Yes? All right, thumbs up. I just want to invite you to run and get your stuffy or blankie, or get a reading buddy and come on back to your reading corner. Run and come back now. All right, my little readers are coming back with family, friends, and I see a few pets. Doggy wants to join story time? I say thumbs up to that. Okay, let's ask the question. Which book is coming off the shelf next? Let's see. I am powerful. I am amazing. I am a king. Whoa, strong title, huh? It's got me interested to see what's inside the pages of this book. This book was written by Anthony D. Brice and Kristy and illustrated by D.G. We have another story that was illustrated by D.G., written by Gina Paul. Do you remember that? Yeah, that was earlier this month. Okay, I'm going to have Josh sit down right here in his special reading spot. I hope you guys are all getting comfy in your spot too, because we're going to get ready for the story. Let's put our listening ears on and put our hands in our lap. Excellent. I'm going to check to make sure we're all ready though. Okay. All right. I'm looking out over all your smiling faces and you look calm and quiet, ready to go, yet excited to get into this book. So, what do we say? Read the book. Okay. All right. Your wish is my command. Let's dig in. Dedication. Dedicated to Anthony Jr., Ahmad, Nathan, and all of the young kings. Never forget who you are. You are meant for greatness. Hear that again. You are meant for greatness. My name is Kai. Sometimes I feel like I live in two different worlds and I'm not sure how I fit into either. It all started when my dad got a new job and we had to move to a new city. He said it was best for our family, but I had to leave all of my friends and the only home I've ever known. Do any of my little readers know what that's like, to have to move from one place to another? Yeah, some of you do. And did that move mean that you had to start over fresh, meet new friends, go to a new school? Yeah, that can be tough, right? And then you miss your old friends, and then you have to get to know new people. It can be difficult, so you can relate to Kai. At my new school, the kids look at me funny, and no one really talks to me. I don't have any friends in my new neighborhood, so I spend most of my time playing by myself. Poor Kai. My principal told me that I was going to be in a special class for the kids with the best grades. Oh, he's a smart cookie. I don't want to go to a special class, I cried. I don't want to be special. I wanted to be like everyone else. Attention class, I want to introduce you to our new student Kai, the teacher says. I didn't want the other kids to look at me funny, so I stayed to myself and got the best grades in class. But it didn't work. It just made them meaner, and they teased me more. Oh, that's not good. He should be celebrated for being smart, right? Encourage him to keep going. That day, when I got off the bus, a kid named Ahmad from my neighborhood asked me if I wanted to play basketball at the park. Oh, that's good, getting an invitation to play. I was so excited. This was my chance to show them how good of a player I was. I scored the most points on my team and hit the winning basket. Yes! All right, good job, Kai. After the game, the kids took their ball and said I couldn't play with them anymore. I don't know what I did wrong, but I just went home. Oh, I thought it would be great that he was a great player. I guess the kids didn't like that he scored all the points. The next day at school, our teacher told the class that we had to do a very important project. We had to do a presentation to the entire class about our family history. I was terrified. I didn't know anything about my family history or where we came from. My presentation was due on Friday, so I only had 3 days to put it together. That night at dinner, I told my parents about the project. They were so excited, but sadly admitted that they knew very little about their family history. How many of you little readers know about your family history? Yeah, some of you a lot, like where you came from, who your grandparents, great-grandparents, and even further back. That's wonderful, but not everybody knows all that information, right? So it might be tough. My dad told me that he knew the country where our family came from and that it was hard to find records about all of the details. My mom said that she would help me put something together and that she would ask my grandma what she knew about our ancestors. That's a good place to start, talking to people who may know more about the history. This doesn't make any sense, I thought. How can my mom, my dad, or my grandma not know anything about our ancestors or where we came from? How can I get up in front of the whole class and tell them that I don't know who I am? For the next 2 days, I watched the rest of my classmates go up and tell amazing stories about where their families came from. One kid brought in a big poster of his family tree with all of his relatives from 200 years ago. Another kid had a picture of his great-great-grandparents when they were babies. I thought to myself, there's no way I can go up there tomorrow and embarrass myself after watching these. Oh, yeah, it kind of feels a little nerve-wracking. Some of these students really got a lot of information on their family history. I know what I'll do. I'll tell Mom that I'm not feeling well, so I won't have to go to school tomorrow. When I got home, I threw on my robe, jumped in my bed, and put on the most miserable face I could. Do any of my little readers do that? Pretend to be sick? No, you wouldn't do that. Mom, I moaned. When my mom walks into my room to check on me, I tell her that I don't feel good. What's wrong? She asked. You have a stomach ache? A headache? A cold? What's hurting? Yeah, all of those, I said. She just looked at me and smiled. Is this about your presentation tomorrow? She asked. I think this mama's got it figured out already. I just feel so lost and confused, I told her. She kissed me on my forehead and told me that everything would work out. Later that night, as I'm sitting on my bed, my dad walks in and sits down beside me. Suddenly, I threw my arms around my dad's waist and buried my head in his chest, crying. It felt like all of the feelings I was having about how people looked at me at school, how mean the kids were, and how I had no friends in the neighborhood came pouring out. Does this sound familiar? Do you remember our story, Timeless Love, with Elijah, who had all those feelings inside until he, boom, exploded? Sounds like the same thing is happening with Kai. My dad just held me. As the tears uncontrollably streamed down my cheeks, I felt him squeeze me a little tighter. I've been keeping everything that I was going through bottled up inside. Even when he would ask me how things were going, I would always tell him, good. Do some of you do that? Mamas and papas are saying, how you doing? How are things going? We get, good. At that moment, it was something about the way he squeezed me that made me feel he understood everything that I was going through without saying a word. I lifted my head up and Dad walked me into the bathroom. He stood behind me in front of the mirror with his hands on my shoulders. What do you see? He said. Huh? I replied with a confused look on my face. What do you see? He said again a little louder. I could feel my head drifting down and my eyes looking towards the floor. I don't know, I said with a weak, trembling voice. Suddenly, he gave me a quick shake, and I could feel his hands gripping my shoulders tighter. Lift your head up, he said with bass in his voice. You know what I see, he said. I see a powerful, amazing king. No matter what anybody else says, no matter what anybody else thinks, no matter what anybody else does, I need you to always remember that. Did you hear? No matter what anybody else says, thinks, or does, he wants his son to hear that he is a powerful, amazing king. This message is for you out there, my little kings. When I looked at the reflection of my dad in the mirror, I saw his eyes start to water and a single tear rolled down his cheek. I had never felt so close to my dad. It was a moment I would never forget. That is really sweet, those moments with a parent. As my dad was walking out of the door, he turned back to look at me as I was laying on the bed staring at the ceiling. I felt a little better, but I still didn't know what I was going to talk about for my presentation the next day. I am, I heard with a booming voice. I turned my head to be startled by my dad suddenly towering over me. I am, he said again as he looked me in my eyes. After gathering myself, I replied, powerful. I am, he said again. Amazing, I replied. I am, he said once again. A king, I replied. Yes, you are, Dad replied as he walked out of the door. I sat up in my bed to look up at the sky through my window as I thought about who I am and everything that just happened with my dad. I drifted off to sleep and woke up to see a big white puffy cloud floating outside my window. Your ancestors sent me, the cloud said. Come with me and I'll show you who you are. I would jump on that cloud. Let's see. So I jumped onto the cloud and off we went. You are powerful, said the cloud as we soared back through the night sky. You can do anything you believe you can do. Inside of you is everything you'll ever need. You aren't here to be average. You were born to be great. Then the cloud showed me these great people throughout history that looked like me. There it is again. Representation matters. Seeing people who look like you matter. All right. So we have former President Barack Obama. We've got Martin Luther King Jr. Just a few. Then the cloud said, you are amazing. You come from a long history of smart, beautiful people who have built and shaped the world as you know it. I looked down to see a mountain of beautiful people who were all shades of black and brown, wearing a rainbow of bright colored clothes, and they were smiling and waving at me. Wouldn't that make you feel a part of things? Yeah. Kai, the cloud called, you are a king. You're more valuable than all the gold in the world. You are a leader, not a follower. Always have the highest respect for yourself and treat other people the way you want to be treated. Then the cloud showed me all of these kings that looked like me. They were rich, powerful, and important. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The cloud flew to the ground and landed in front of an empty throne. Now you know who you are, the cloud said, but it's only true if you believe it. So I jumped off of the cloud, walked up to the throne, and sat down. I believe, I said. I woke up the next morning excited. I won't hide anymore. I know where I belong in the world. I know where I come from, and I know who I am. Oh, that's so important, little readers. You have to know who you are and be confident in that. And if I ever need a reminder of who I am, I will remember what my dad, the cloud, and my ancestors said. I am powerful. I am amazing. I am a king. I know that it won't be easy, Kai said, but I'm ready for whatever comes my way. The end. Do you think that Kai is ready for his presentation now? I think he is. That adventure on the cloud helped him to see who he really is. And if you want to repeat those too, you can. I am powerful. I am amazing. I am a king or a queen, right? All right, high five. That's wonderful. I'm so glad you guys joined me in Ruthy's reading room for this awesome story. Don't forget to check in the description below to find out where you can buy this book. And remember, the best place to read is wherever you are with a book. All right, y'all, my king. So if you enjoyed reading with us today, don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you can read along with us next time and find out which book is coming off the shelf next. All right, little readers, happy reading. Goodbye.
Ruthy's read it.